So, have you heard the term the sassy man apocalypse? If you're not familiar with that, there's a belief that that men today are acting what some may consider very feminine, very sassy, so to speak, um, and reversing a lot of the roles that what some would feel are traditional roles. These men want to reverse it, and they want to be treated like princesses and all these things. Now, I think the whole thing is very overblown. Sometimes they're being mislabeled, all right, in some situations. I'll acknowledge that there's some circumstances or some scenarios where I've watched some videos, let's say on TikTok, and I thought to myself, he's a little sassy. If I'm being honest, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying that's fair. I'm just saying even I have had those thoughts before, right? And I think one of the things that I have heard that women have called men sassy for is the idea that women should be chasing them, right? And some of you may be experiencing that, where these men now feel like, no, they're the prize. You should be chasing them. You need to show them that you're serious. Now, let me make clear. I don't believe in chasing, period. I don't believe men should be chasing women. I don't believe women should be chasing men. I believe two people should be making a mutual effort to build a healthy, happy relationship. And both have to respect and honor the value of the other, okay? But I understand, and when I say understand, I'm not saying I agree. I understand why some are developing the mentality that a woman should chase the man. And I want to help break this down for you ladies because one, again, I want to stress, this is not how the majority of men think. Do not let the internet fool you. The internet has a way of making the minority look like the majority, all right? And overhyping certain things. I can tell you as someone, I get approached a lot when I'm in the gym, in the street, whatever. And believe it or not, the majority of people, even though my audiences online are majority women, at least as far as followers and subscribers, the majority of people who approach me in the street are men, all right? Men who are thanking me, men encouraging me, saying, man, keep doing what you do. Your videos are helping me. They help my relationship. They help me through this breakup, so on and so forth. So, I want women to know that because I think women sometimes think these men aren't getting help or they're not seeking guidance. They are. A lot of them are. They're just less vocal about it. They may not necessarily follow, subscribe, but they watch, okay? And they're watching more in silence. But these same men who talk to me, I can tell you that the vast majority of them aren't talking about a woman needs to chase them. So it's not as prevalent as some would think. There's a reason why it seems more prevalent than it actually is outside of the internet blowing it up. And I'm going to leave that to the very end to explain that I need you to listen to because it's extremely important. However, it is happening to some degree. And I want you to not, one of the things I seek to achieve is to help both sides not view things through such a negative lens all the time. And more so, to be more specific, not to internalize some of the nonsense they're seeing, right? Because when we internalize it and we hold on to it, now it ends up festering and creating this negative energy within us that derails our dating and relationship experiences, okay? I want you to be able to see this on a deeper level, right? To understand it, but again, in no way am I telling you to embrace actually chasing a man. But let's get to some of the reasons why modern men today expect women to chase them. And one of the top reasons is because it's simply a defense mechanism. And I think it's very important we start there because the reality is, and ladies, you know I love y'all, but a lot of these reasons will apply to you too. The whole you have to chase me mindset for a lot of people, it's a defense mechanism because it stems from, I'm tired of putting myself out there. I'm tired of making an effort and not getting what I'm looking for in return. I'm tired of being taken advantage of. And so to now avoid that from happening, you got to chase me. You have to show me you're serious enough before I can take you serious or pour back into you. And that's just a means of protection. It is a wall up. It is a wall up because you don't want to get hurt. So a lot of these men have been hurt, have been used, have been played. And so now it is easier to say you have to chase me, which also takes the responsibility away from them having to put the work in, having to show up in a certain kind of way, and says, no, it's on you, the other individual, to give me reason to step up first. And so when we understand this is a defense mechanism for many people, and we understand it stems from past hurts and traumas that have not been resolved, it speaks to the fact that many people just need to heal. So when you hear a lot of these men talking about they need to be chased, understand, I'm not saying all of them because there's more reasons we're going to get into in a second, but many of them are just speaking from a place of hurt. And some may not want to acknowledge that and recognize it for what it is, but it's true. It's true because I can tell you this, you're going to have a very hard time finding a man who has good, positive experiences with women, who has pursued women in the past, who's over here talking about, nah, they got to be chasing me. That's not the case because his approach has done well for him. So he doesn't see a need to have to switch the roles around. He doesn't see a need to have to do things differently. He's good, plain and simple. Or as long as he's had good experiences with women, he doesn't project this negativity onto other women to where now he has to act in defense mode. So a lot of it comes from people who just have not healed. And so I encourage everyone. So if this applies to you as well as a woman, and I know for some of you it will, if you're being honest with yourself, this is why the first step to dating and relationship success is healing. You got to do the work. You got to go through that healing journey. And I'll give you a resource a little bit later on that. But the bottom line is, don't be afraid to go deeper and address the past and release it. You heal by releasing, not by suppressing. And by releasing and setting yourself free from that negative energy, you are going to set yourself up to receive better. And it's the same thing. Any man who wants to be chased watching this video, I say it to you with love and respect, man. You got to heal. You got to make sure that's not what's causing this blockage and causing you to feel like this is how it needs to be done. All right. So another reason why modern men today expect women to chase them is because they're being told that they are the prize. So this is another one of those discussions on the internet that I feel like is causing a lot of problems, all right? And I know for a lot of women, you feel like you are the prize, okay? And then now we have this issue where there's men who feel like they are the prize. Now, my stance is you are both the prize. At the end of the day, when two people can find a partner that they can be in alignment with, that they can, have a connection with and experience a great relationship with, they both won. They both received an amazing blessing. And I think it's very unhealthy, the mindset of the prize, because it tends to lead to, here's a tweet for you. When you think you're the prize, you would treat your partner like a peasant. All right? I hope that sounded good. But anyways, I just came up with it. But anyways, the point is, like, that's the risk of having that mentality, is that by saying, I am the prize, not I am a prize, because saying I am a prize it leaves room for acknowledging that the other person is a prize as well. You're both a prize for each other. But when we think we are the prize, right, that then devalues the other partner. It says, I am of greater value here. And because I am of greater value, you must work harder for me. You must do more for me. You see what I'm saying? You must put more effort than me. And that will lead to an unhealthy relationship. So a lot of men, they're being told that they're the prize now. And what's unfortunate, and what I believe is happening as well, is that a lot of the discussions on the internet, when you actually dig deeper, they're really centered on what people talking about the type of quote unquote, whether you want to call it high value man or higher desirable man or whatever. They're really focused on that upper echelon of man that a lot of women desire. And so naturally, because that upper echelon of man is a rarity, is in a lower percentage than the average man, it is easy to logically explain why he would then be a prize, right? If we're looking at it from that perspective. And what then happens is a lot of men who are listening to these explanations or receiving this guidance, and I say this respectfully, a lot of them don't qualify as that, but they still internalize that message and apply it to them. So it's like, okay, these people are really talking about this certain subgroup of men, but then all the general men, the general public of men who listen to this thing, well, oh, that applies to me too. I'm the prize too. And it's like, no, you haven't achieved what that guy has achieved. Okay? You're not in that same position. But regardless of where you are, if you are the right person for someone, you are still a prize. You don't have to be in the upper echelon of guys, but I do think that that's where it's causing a lot of this confusion and a lot of this, again, unhealthy mindset. And I want to make clear, I do want men as well as women to have confidence, to understand their worth, you know what I'm saying, to believe in themselves. So I do not want to knock anyone for viewing themselves in high regard or to view themselves as a prize, but not the prize, because you gotta embrace and respect the other person you're trying to join together with. But this is a big reason why you're seeing now more men with the mentality of a woman having to chase them. And then speaking to that group of men who actually are part of that quote unquote upper echelon of men, for them, that is the thinking, is like, hey, I'm a rarity here. So because I am more rare than you, you should be chasing after me. And at the end of the day, for you as a woman, again, I'm never going to take the chase after a man. I'm just not. You know, I do think you're supposed to be willing to express your interest, your desire, all these different things. But no, you should not have to chase them. Now, before I move on to the next point, let me say this because I kind of missed mentioning this for the first point. Part of that whole, it's a defense mechanism issue, is also men wanting reassurance. And so some men out there, because of being played, because of being used, things of that nature, a woman chasing them gives them reassurance